episode 2 of the pinche podcast, or 3P, or whatever I'm going to call it. Today's topic is video games and whatever else I can think about. So, lately, let's change it up. So, I've always played video games. They've been my escape throughout my childhood and my adult life. I started with my brother's Nintendo, and then my brother's Super Nintendo. Then he gave me a PlayStation for my birthday. And that was like officially my first console. And I think that's when I started playing like RPGs, like Final Fantasy and Legend of Dragoon, and Senno Saga and all those other games. And I used to spend hours and hours trying to get like every little side quest and items and everything I could find. Like just pretty much, the grind that you do with RPGs. And then as I got older, like I moved to shooters like Halo, which Halo was a terrible addiction of mine. I got so into playing Halo 3 that I switched to a part-time job so that I could just game more. Like, if somehow I was going to make a career of playing that game, but I was so addicted. Like, I would literally, like, get off work, get home, and start playing till, like, from, like, 1 p.m. to, like, 2 a.m. And I would just sleep a couple of hours, go to work, repeat it all over again. And it was really fun. Like, I had I had my own squad, and it was a good time in my life, even though I was just playing video games. And then after that game died, I moved on to like Skyrim and Fallouts and the newer Final Fantasies and everything. But the older I got, the less invested I was in the games. And then I started just looking for like quick games. Like I guess that's when the battle royales started to come out. Well, I didn't play like PUBG, but I've been playing like Apex Legends for like the past 2-3 years. But lately, like, I've tried to play other games. Like, I got the Xbox Game Pass, and I'll download a bunch of games thinking I'll like them, and then I'll start like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm like, nope, this is not for me, I don't have time for this. And I don't know, it just feels less fulfilling. Like, even Apex is like a lot of, you don't win all the games, and it can be stressful and kind of a mood killer. Like, it feels great when you win a match, but like, I win a match every 30 games I play. Let's be generous, I probably play a lot more. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because like video games were that escape for me, right? So that's how I relieve stress and got out of my mental zone, because as soon as I was done with work or I was done with school, it was just that was there for me. And then now that I don't have it, I think that's why, or one of the main reasons why I keep getting all this anxiety and stress, because I don't have anywhere to, switch my brain off. And I've been trying maybe different type of video games, or I've been going out for walks every now and then, and I'm just not invested in anything. And then I started doing the whole podcast thing. Like, I started with a Doctor Who podcast because I love Doctor Who. It's my favorite show. I hadn't seen like the older episodes in a while. So as soon as I started it, I was like, do I want to continue with like making this like episode review thing I was going with, or do I just want to watch the show and then make my podcast about something else? And I think it's going to lead to just something else, because like I'm not a show reviewer. Like, I have opinions, but like it's nothing interesting. Like, I see some of those TikTok reviews and other people on YouTube and all that, and they have like all these, like, I don't know, they all have like this way of grasping your attention, which I don't. So I decided to leave it alone. If I ever have a guest in the podcast that likes Doctor Who and we have a conversation, and then that's when you'll see what a true Whovian I am, even though I'm not shy about it. I got a TARDIS tattoo. I got like my family knows I love Doctor Who. Like, I don't know, like on my 25th birthday, one of my birthdays, I got a TARDIS cake that my sister made. It's pretty cool. I'll share pictures in the future once I make an Instagram page for the pod. But back to video games. Yeah, like, I don't know what people play. Like, I see like my old friends that I grew up with, and they kind of stopped, you know. I think most of us like moved to shooters and then kind of just drifted away. And it's kind of weird. Like, I always thought games would be in my life. Like, I could see myself like in my 60s, like still playing. And, you know, that might not be the case anymore. Hopefully it is. Like, I just have to find that game that hooks me. Like, because I've had games like that. Like, after playing Apex for so long, then Elden Ring came out, and then I got really into Elden Ring. But then that game, like, near the end got like really stressful, and I was like, oh, fuck this, like, I'm gonna stop now. Like, the moment I stop having fun is, you know, and it just feels like a chore to play it. Like, the world is amazing. I like the style of the game, how you fight and everything. It's pretty cool. But, you know, some of the bosses are just like insane, so I decided to just put it down. And I might pick it up because I know there's a DLC coming out, but who knows? Who knows what I'll do? The only games I'm really looking forward to is the sequel or prequel to Hollow Knight, which is going to be Silksong. So that looks like it's going to be super awesome. Like, I've been wanting to play Hollow Knight again, but I feel like I'm going to play it and then Silksong's going to come out and then I'm going to just leave it halfway. And I don't want to do that. I think Silksong comes out sometime either at the end of the year or beginning of next year. And I don't have that much free time anymore to play the game like I used to. Like, typically, like, I'll get off at 5 and then after work, you know, I'll play with my son, go for a walk, take out the dog, have dinner. And then by the time everybody's in bed, like around 8, that's when I record the podcast episode. So I would probably, like, once I'm done with the podcast, I would probably just play maybe like a good half hour or even an hour before I have to go back to bed. Like, I don't get in till 8 a.m., but my wife gets in at 5 a.m. So when she wakes up, my son wakes up. Therefore, I wake up early. So kind of have to go to bed at a reasonable hour. Like, I used to play Apex all night, and like till like midnight, and then I had to drive to work the next day. I had to be out of the house by 4, so I would get very little sleep and head to work. And back then I could do it, but not anymore. And it hasn't been that long. That's just like what 2020, like just like a year before that pandemic. I don't even remember when that shit started. But it is what it is. I'll eventually go back to gaming. I know, like, we all have those points in our life where we stop enjoying things that we typically loved, but we don't have to give up on them. I think we just have to take a break, or wait until that spark ignites that flame that made you love that hobby that you had. Like, I love music, right? And I would listen to so much music, like, on my way to work, I'm back, like, all day. Like, before, this is pre-Halo and then post-Halo. Like, music was just everything to me. And it still is, like, it is, like, one of my favorite things to do. I think, like, anybody that says that doesn't like music or doesn't listen to music is just insane. Like, I don't understand that. Like, you have to like something, It's, like, the best thing to do to pass the time when you're doing another activity, right? So if, like, you're cooking, you can listen to some tunes, it's fun. Like, it's so enjoyable. But then that podcast bug got me, and I had to split, my listening time. So it was like music in the morning during my commute, or a podcast, right? So I kind of had to do that. But once you get into podcasts, like, you start picking them up, and it's like I don't know how many I'm subscribed to, but I have at least 2 that I'll have to listen to, like, Monday through Friday, right? And in case you're wondering, like, which ones are my favorite, I like WTF with Mark Maron, Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, and those are, like, my main ones. But pretty much, like, everybody that listens to Rogan will fall into the comedians pool of podcasting, right? So you'll listen to Tom Segura's one, Bert Kreischer's one, Duncan Trussell, like every like friend of Joe's that has a podcast, like, you'll probably end up listening to it. Not that there's anything wrong with those podcasts, but because I listen to them, but like I'm saying, like, those are the main ones. Like, some that I stopped listening to were Radiolab and Star Talk, but I should probably start listening to those again. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And no, that's it for today, I guess. Like, I don't have much thoughts. I really definitely need somebody to talk to make these longer, so we can, talk shit and make it a lot more funny. I know that this is probably hard to listen to because there's no laughter anywhere. And if you did laugh at some point, good for you at finding amusement at this shit. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and that's it for today. I'll update you with whatever I have tomorrow. See you.